Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A cold and rainy day. Adam Caskey standing by. Adam, are we in for more of the same tomorrow?
Short answer, no, it's not going to be the same. We'll have a decent amount of cloud cover and a few sprinkles tonight into tomorrow, but it's not going to be as damp. The morning commute won't be nearly as sloppy. Then I think we get back into it again on Friday. We'll get to that later. You look at Authority radar now, a few very light sprinkles and showers near Hallettsville and Lavaca County. They're tapering off, and even a few little sprinkles just starting to pop up on the south side of San Antonio. Not much to speak of, but you look at the big picture, it's a different story. Over the past 8 hours, especially up in the Panhandle, that's where we've had most of the rainfall so far today. Already some parts of the Texas Panhandle have had 2 inches of rain. Now that's the exception, but a few locations have, and they're going to be seeing even more of it tonight and on into tomorrow. This is all part of the big, broad, upper level low near Phoenix. Out ahead of it, we have the energy and moisture, and also a cold front that's going to develop and push into town. So notice tomorrow, most of the rain off to our north. We'll have mostly cloudy skies and a few spritzes and sprinkles here and there. But once the cold front moves in on Friday, that's when we see more scattered activity developing. I'll be back in a little bit to talk about that, time it out for you, and let you know how much we could get and where coming right up.
Timing it all out. All right, thank you, Adam. Well, do you remember this contractor? Neil Melendrez, arrested last week on felony charges of theft for not finishing work he was paid to do. Since that story, viewers have been weighing in, many emailing us saying they too have dealt with similar issues, but their cases were never taken seriously. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas sat down with SAPD to try to explain why a bad contractor could be a criminal or a civil issue.
I'm sorry, the weather, my truck broke down. He doesn't have his guides.
I would have to use like my work number or another person's cell phone. He would answer accidentally, and then he would brush me off, say, "Oh, no, you're on the schedule now."
The runaround. That's what both of these men have dealt with while waiting on a contractor to finish a higher job.
See, it flexes way too much, and especially you can start seeing water.
For Arturo Herrera, the work was done, but not to his liking. And for Raymond Barbosa,
they didn't even do the job. They took the money and pretty much ran.
This contractor's arrest on charges of theft has them asking, why aren't more contractors held accountable for incomplete work? San Antonio Police Sergeant Washington Moscoso explains.
It's tricky because the majority of cases where something like this happens, it's going to be a civil matter. Anytime you enter into contract with someone, it starts out as a civil matter.
For a dispute to be pursued as a criminal case, police say the biggest element needed is being able to prove intent. In last week's arrest, the victims did multiple things right. First, they had lots of documentation of phone calls, text messages, and emails, and the lack of response from the suspect. Then they both also sent what is called a demand letter to the suspect through certified mail, formally requesting a response. And on top of that, they had multiple victims complaining about the same suspect.
It's a lot. Because how do they say, it's not what you say, it's what you can prove.
But how difficult is it to prove intent?
It's extremely difficult. That's why the majority of these cases don't rise to the level of a criminal act.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
It is a vital resource for the many people in Uvalde still grieving following the massacre at Robb Elementary. And now recovery services there could be impacted. The Uvalde County Commissioners Court voting not to renew the Ecumenical Center's contract once funding from the state expires. That's set to happen in April of 2024. The Ecumenical Center has provided therapy and other trauma counseling services at no cost for those impacted by the deaths of 19 students and 2 teachers at Robb on May 24, 2022. Uvalde County DA Christina Mitchell actually made the recommendation to not renew the contract for the center, instead citing local clinicians to provide post-trauma care.
After 2 years of watching them, it's going to be my recommendation to the court that we bring those services in all locally and have somebody locally running our resiliency center.
Somebody locally running our resource centers. That's what she was saying there. Now, there's still lots of questions to be asked as this situation unfolds. We're going to have more on this story as it develops. Stay with us on air and online. To D.C. now, where the House is formalizing an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. Every Republican rallied behind the process today. Despite concerns among some in the party, the investigation is yet to produce evidence of misconduct by the president. Even Republican leadership has made it clear the inquiry may not result in the removal of the president. But House Speaker Mike Johnson and his team faced growing pressure to show progress in what has now been a years-long probe centered on the business dealings of Biden's family members. The president himself called the effort a, quote, baseless political stunt, end quote. Newly released body camera video shows the moments leading up to Balcones Heights police officer shooting and killing a dog. Now the department looking into creating a new policy for such cases. The police chief says this is the first time in recent history that someone in the department used deadly force on an animal. In this incident, the chief says an officer got called out to the Seoul Apartments on November 18th for an assault call. The chief says the officer tried to talk to the dog's owner, but the incident escalated, as you see here in this body cam video. The officer deployed a taser on the man. It didn't work, but the dog got loose and ran toward the officer. Here you're going to see it again right there, who then shot the dog twice.
She gave her life for her owner. So it's unfortunate, but I believe we need to be more responsible for our animals.
The chief says the officer was placed on administrative leave for 2 weeks before being cleared. As for the dog's owner, the chief says he was not charged with anything. He was initially charged with murder in connection to the shooting death of a woman last year on Thanksgiving. The suspect accepted a plea deal that's sending him to prison for a lesser charge. This is Paris Shaw. He was in court yesterday, sentenced to 25 years for shooting and killing Joanna Baker. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say witnesses to the shooting say Shaw placed a small rifle in between Baker's eyes and threatened to shoot her. Baker allegedly told Shaw to do it. A witness says he pulled the trigger. They say Shaw and Baker were in a relationship. Shaw must serve half of his sentence before he's eligible for parole. The support just continues to pour in for a local nonprofit. Take a look at these new wheels given to Blessed Angels for their service vehicles. They were provided by Jacob Pena and Spurs legend Tim Duncan's car shop, the Blackjack Speed Shop. Earlier this week, Blessed Angels cars were vandalized and burglarized. This is just the latest example of our community stepping up to help. Love this story. All right, let's go to your Nightbeat news flash right now. Procedural deadlines in former President Donald Trump's election interference case have been paused after his lawyers appealed, citing presidential immunity. A federal judge decided they no longer have jurisdiction over some aspects of the case until that question regarding immunity is answered. That judge also realizes the March 4th trial date for the case could be moved as a result of the appeal. Despite this news, Trump's limited gag order in this case has not been impacted. Top Biden officials are working with Republicans on securing a last-minute deal to send more wartime aid to Ukraine. In that potential package would be more money and new policies to secure the U.S.-Mexico border and cut down on crossings, something migrant advocates and even Democratic lawmakers protested at the Capitol today. The $110 billion package also includes money for Israel and other national security needs. Speaking of Israel, 9 Israeli Defense Force soldiers are dead after a Palestinian militant ambush in Gaza City. Hamas is putting up stiff resistance in areas Israel is isolated over their 2-month war. Despite this, the U.S. continues to pressure Israel to do a better job protecting innocent civilians in Gaza. Meanwhile, the United Nations is pleading for the two sides to agree to a humanitarian ceasefire as those civilian deaths rise. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash. The 2024 presidential election quickly approaching, and you may remember KSAT reported that Texas State University selected as the first of 4 debate locations, and records show the Secret Service actually visited the campus. You can read more about it on KSAT.com. The first debate, by the way, is set for September 16th, 2024. A local school district one step closer to having its new superintendent. The Schertz-Cibolo Universal City School District has named Paige Maloney as the lone finalist for the role. Maloney currently serving as Louisville ISD's chief financial officer. She's set to begin her new role in January. You can read more about her experience in the district right now on KSAT.com. It is a case of homeowners versus tenants. Multiple calls to police for a home in Cibolo. Calls that include allegations of child and animal abuse. The homeowners and renters pointing fingers at each other. KSAT Investigates Lee Waldman takes you inside that home. Two homeowners in Cibolo sounding the alarm on a pair of nightmare tenants. The couple with 5 children say it's the landlords who are causing the issues. Well, KSAT Investigates uncovered dozens of calls to police with allegations of child and animal abuse at that home. Lee Waldman takes us inside the one home the landlord is calling a biohazard area.
They're no longer allowed to enter the premises after the date that's posted on there.
After months of battling, Will Sherman has control of his home again after dealing with what he calls nightmare renters. The home where he raised his own family, destroyed.
The smell of death just hit me, right in the face. Walking through the home was horrifying, seeing everything.
This is one of 4 dumpsters that's been filled with items that were left inside of this home, but what's still in there is just as bad.
You can actually see roaches.
Bugs, the smell of urine and feces, needles on the ground, torn up carpets. That's the toned down version of what Sherman found in his home after getting his renters, Brandon and Kyle Garrett, and their children out.
There were 5 kids living in this. To know that they had all of these dogs that were just left here in the heat of the summer with no air conditioning, no power or anything, just left here to fend for themselves. It's heartbreaking.
Sherman says 2 dead dogs and the leg of a third were found inside the upstairs bedroom. He rented this home to the Garretts for 3 years between 2020 and 2023. Cibolo police were called 24 times in that span. Everything from Child Protective Services complaints, cruelty to animals, and assault calls. Rent was getting paid later and later until Sherman says he reached a breaking point this summer and decided to file for eviction.
Their response was, do what you need to do. It takes 30 days to file for eviction. We'll be out by the end of July.
In August, Sherman says he didn't see anyone in the home, so he changed the locks. That's when Garrett shattered the back sliding glass door, a fact he admitted to himself in our interview.
My dogs had been in there for a week, no food. I hadn't seen any sign of anybody coming in, so I broke the sliding glass door down.
The rest of their family moved out that summer because of health issues his husband Kyle was experiencing. This happened in a week.
It wasn't like that when I left.
Garrett promised to send pictures of how he allegedly left the home, but those still haven't come. But this isn't the first time the couple has been accused of trashing a rental home in the Cibolo area.
Walked in the house and immediately got sick because they had destroyed the entire house.
Michael Singleton rented to the Garretts from 2013 to 2017. He says the couple consistently paid their rent late or not at all in that final year. After filing for eviction, Singleton went to court in 2018 to try and accrue the $25,000 needed to fix the damage left behind.
I only went to small claims court with them and got $10,000 awarded.
Garrett has an explanation for what happened with Singleton as well.
Everything was going great with him until Kyle came out as transgender.
Garrett says their issues as renters started when they moved to Cibolo, and he has every intention of paying the money he owes Singleton. As for Sherman, he's still trying to get his home back in livable condition. Then he'll be pursuing legal action as well.
I'm going to pursue every avenue that I have.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Lee Waldman.
Cibolo Animal Control is still investigating after the bodies of those dogs were found inside of Sherman's home to determine if any criminal charges will be filed in that case. Let's take a live look outside right now. It was pretty dreary and cloudy, and it just seemed to really chill out as the day got longer and longer, I guess. It started warmer than it ended.
Yeah, it was a chill day. How about that? It was a chill day. We were in the 50s all day long, and we had 0.13 of an inch of rain at the airport. Tonight and tomorrow, mainly dry. Another damp morning, I think, on Friday, with then some scattered showers and even a few rumbles of thunder. Then sunny and very December-like this upcoming weekend. Let's take a look at our rain chances. Tonight through tomorrow, we're talking a 20% chance. A few sprinkles here and there. That's about it. I don't think it'll get in the way of any outdoor activities. Friday is going to be a little bit of a different story. We're up to 60%, so we're expecting scattered to widespread showers and non-severe storms to develop. Authorities Authority radar, 24-hour radar estimates, generally around 1/10 of an inch, give or take, here and there. A few spots, say near Elmendorf, where we actually had some more moderate rain, 0.2 of an inch, and even near Lavernia, a similar situation, but otherwise less than that. Here's the satellite and radar over the past 8 hours. Good snow in the high elevations of Colorado and New Mexico. It's good for the ski resorts there. They need that, especially approaching the Christmas holiday. And good rain in the Panhandle. Now, they don't need it as badly as we do, but at least some of our friends are getting some showers. This is where most of the rain's going to be, in the Panhandle tomorrow. And then it shifts eastward with the brunt of it in North Texas and even East Texas. We're going to be on the tail end of the activity. I still think we'll get rain, just not as much as our friends to the north. We'll start Friday with the dampness, some drizzles, some sprinkles, and then some scattered showers and even a few non-severe thunderstorms into the afternoon and early evening before the night when we clear on out. Additional rainfall potential, 2+ inches from Lubbock to Abilene to Wichita Falls, over 1 inch likely in Dallas. Around here, 1/10 to 1/2 inch. Here's one of our latest computer runs, and it's still in line with up to 1/2 inch, and that would be pretty generous around Bexar County and surrounding areas. Possibly higher amounts farther east of town you are. Gonzales, even Yorktown, Cuero, Hallettsville, you could see upwards of 1/2 inch with some heavier rain. So that's the rain. Otherwise, nothing else beyond then. We're looking dry. 54 right now, dew point of 42. A bit of a breeze out there out of the east-northeast. And you look at temperatures across the state, we're in the 40s and 50s, even off to the north of us. Temperatures are actually mild for this time of year, but right now we're in the 50s, not falling off that quickly, and we're not going to fall off significantly because of the blanket of clouds we have. So tomorrow morning, we're talking 48 degrees at 7 a.m. By noon, 10 degrees warmer at 58, and then at 4 p.m., 62, and just that 20% chance through about the noon hour. More clouds than sunshine, but there will be some peaks of sun mixed in. A fairly quiet day tomorrow. 64 Stinson on the south side, 60 in Boerne, 64 New Braunfels, Nixon and Floresville at 66 tomorrow. Friday, with the dampness and the rain, making it still up to 62 degrees. And then this weekend, because there will be a weak cold front moving through Friday, this weekend, that'll drop temperatures mainly for the mornings. We're talking 38 degrees again by Sunday morning, but afternoons this weekend in the low to mid 60s with a lot of sunshine. Also a little bit breezy on Saturday. That's something I need to point out. You'll notice a bit of a breeze then. And as we get into next week, still in the 60-degree range, which keep in mind is near average with our average high being 65.
Yeah, a good mix though of rain and sun.
Yeah, it's good to have both.
Days. Yeah. All right, thanks, Adam. All right, Larry, is it just me or the Spurs play with an urgency at the end of the game that they need throughout the game?
Absolutely. And Pop talked about that after the game, saying just teaching these young players 48 minutes is not easy. And he also said in the first half, the Spurs didn't do much that the basketball gods would like. But in the second half against the Lakers, they did much better. It was a wild ending. But the Spurs fall again. And we had scholarships and smiles thanks to the Valero Alamo Bowl. Coming up.
Keldon Johnson, a balancing act. Oh, Baba Wembanyama!
Yeah, the Spurs showed some bright spots against the Lakers, but the losing streak continues on game day. Well, we weren't sure if he was going to play tonight, and we got word during our KSAT Tip-Off Plus pregame special that LeBron James is out tonight against the Spurs after L.A. played at Dallas last night. But the problem to worry about is former #1 draft pick Anthony Davis, and as a matchup against the most recent first pick in Victor Wembanyama. Only a couple seconds into the game when AD drives the lane, but he twists an ankle on the way down. He would stay down for a couple minutes before getting back up and staying in the game. Now the Spurs playing more fast-paced and finding Trey Jones here with a fancy layup to make it a 5-point game late in the first quarter. And the second quarter now, Lakers would pull away, but a bright spot right before halftime. Keldon Johnson finds Wemby on the alley-oop dunk, and the Lakers led by 13 at halftime. Jumping to the fourth quarter now, just over a minute to go. Wemby with the step-back three, and he makes it a 4-point game. Then with the clock winding down, Victor drives, gets a trip to the free throw line with an opportunity to tie it, but he only made one of his 2 free throws, and the Spurs are down 1 point with just 20 seconds left. Then Wemby had an opportunity to tie it again, but he misses the three and fouled out for sticking his leg out. Offensive foul. The Lakers win at 122-119. Here's Pop after the Spurs' 18th consecutive loss.
Second half, I felt good. I thought they played a basketball game. They competed. They made some pretty good decisions. Everybody makes mistakes. Both teams do. But the second half, they competed and executed to win. And so I'm glad about that. I want to see how it carries over to Friday.
Yeah, the Lakers and Spurs will face off again Friday night at 6:30 at the Frostbank Center. All right, who should be the Spurs starting point guard? I mean, that's a hot topic. Coach Pop has started Jeremy Sohan at the point, and the results haven't been all that great. When Trey Jones plays the point, the results are better. Now, last week before the Spurs hosted the Bulls, sports photog Mark Mendez asked Spurs fans who should be the starting point guard, as seen earlier tonight on our Tip-Off Plus pregame show.
It should be Trey Jones because he can facilitate the offense and get Wemby more involved.
I'm going to go with Sohan.
Why?
Just because I've been watching him since he's drafted, I had high hopes, and I feel like now that he's got Wemby on his side, I feel like you're starting to see it come out. So it's like real exciting every time I see him. I think when they first started, he wasn't in the starting lineup yet, but now that they've transitioned, it's a lot more exciting. That's what I'm going to go with.
Okay. Who do you think should be the point guard?
Jones, just because I've seen the way he plays and he's exciting to watch.
Just keep going with Sohan. Just go back to Sohan and just keep rocking it out.
I think it should be Trey Jones. He keeps the ball moving. It's what he does. He's good at it. Our offense goes up when he's in there, so I think they should go Trey Jones.
I think I enjoyed it a little bit more when everybody was the same all the time. But I like this new team. I'm excited. Give them a year or two, and they'll be great.
This is a trial year. Trial year for Wemby will be fine.
It's weird from what we're used to, but we're adjusting to it pretty good. I think give us a couple more games, and we'll be able to start winning.
I don't know anything about positions. I'm just a big Spurs fan, and I want them to win. That's all that's important. Everyone can pitch in. Even Pop.
Thank you, fans, for answering. Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green was suspended indefinitely by the NBA today, less than 24 hours after he hit Phoenix Suns center Jusuf Nurkic in the face, and he received a flagrant 2 foul and ejection. The NBA said that this outcome takes into account Green's repeated history of unsportsmanlike acts. Lots of smiles today, thanks to the Valero Alamo Bowl after the break.
It's my pleasure to be here today, and it's a lot of fun to be up here looking at all these smiling faces. I'm not sure who's smiling more, the students or the parents, when it comes to the scholarship. So, club captain.
Lots of smiles today because the Valero Alamo Bowl awarded scholarships to 94 San Antonio area student athletes during an award luncheon. The 94 winners are from 67 area high schools, and they are thrilled and blown away by the amount of money they won.
It's very exciting. I was sitting in the living room with my sister, and then we were watching TV, and my mom comes up with an envelope, and I open it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, $7,500. Like, that is insane.
This scholarship is amazing. It's truly could be decision changing on where I go to school. It's just the $7,500 is very generous, and it'll definitely help my education career.
The Valero Alamo Bowl will award $1.2 million. The amount is expected to be the largest local scholarship total in Alamo Bowl history and #1 among all bowl games. That is awesome.
We're #1, baby.
We are #1.
And what, I mean, they keep doing it year after year at the Alamo Bowl.
And the smiles just keep getting bigger and bigger. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Larry. We'll be right back.
They had no idea what they had really purchased.
Everything was in a state of dilapidation.
We did not know what this building was. We thought it was a dance hall.
Well, the history of this Wilson County fixer-upper was a bit more complicated.
If you read that marker, you would have no clue that this was a slave plantation.
And this was this house. So yeah, I got some news for her.
The uncomfortable truths and mysteries of this local mansion are streaming now on these platforms.
Tomorrow, mainly dry. Just a 20% chance of a stray sprinkle or light shower, especially in the morning. We'll be in the low to mid 60s through the weekend. Friday, damp.
See you tomorrow. Have a great night.